spine, all the places before we start. Maybe feels good to roll the head around as well. Walking those hands side to side, all the way back. All the way around. And flipping them over if that feels okay. And then let's press back into downward dog, tucking the toes, hips go back, ears between the arms, and pedal, wiggle, waggle. Maybe a few forwards and backwards from plank to downward dog. Walking the feet towards the hands. Bending into the knees, holding your elbows or hands on the back of your head. Just finding a little sway. And then rolling up to halfway, hands on your thighs. Let's do our little cat-cow here. So inhale, heart forward, shoulders back, head and hips lift. Exhale, chin tucks, tail tucks. Press the shoulder blades open. 2 more. And rolling up. And coming to stand tall in your mountain pose, whatever that is for you today. Spreading those feet nice and wide. Or the toes nice and wide, I should say. Spread your feet too if you can. Lay the bones out and then draw the strength up through the legs, up the spine, down the arms. Let's take a big breath in and out. And then coming to find your breath for your practice today. Finding a steady count, 3 or 4 in, 3 or 4 out. A balanced breath, giving you time to move and time to be still. Remembering, although this is a dynamic and a fairly fluid style of yoga, the whole point of the posture, the word asana, it means seat. So we want to find some stillness in every shape we make. That's what we want to be able to create with that steady breath. So as you practice today, rather than thinking about where you're going next, try and connect with where you are right there and then. Let's use the next inhale to take the arms up. Catch your wrist as you exhale, bend through one side. Inhale, back up tall. And exhale over the other way. Inhaling, reaching up, looking up. And as you exhale, hinge and fold from the hips, hands to the floor. Inhale, eyes forwards, leave them there as the feet go back. Elbows squeeze in, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, squeeze the bottom, pull the shoulders back. And find your way back and up, downward dog. And let's shake it out here, shake the head, shake the hips, bend the knees, wag your tail. Find whatever feels good here. Really just focusing on getting a long line, hands to hips, legs doing what they need to make that happen. Last breath. Eyes forwards with a hop or a step, find your way there. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale all the way up, hands and eyes lift. Exhale, reset. 4 more. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way over. Eyes forwards, leave them there as the feet go back. Elbows squeeze in, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog.
Starting to work those feet to hip width, ever so slightly turning the heels out and really pressing down through the heels. Do this with bent legs first, regardless of whether you can get your heels to touch the mat or not, so that you feel how you're pulling your body back with your legs. If you can maintain that bend and press the heels into the mat, go ahead. Do not force your knees back. Last breath in and out.
Eyes forward, feet forwards. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale. Hands down. 3 more. Nice and steady. Moving with your breath. If you start to jump your feet back, make sure they land hip width or wider, and you're trying not to lock your elbows into a plank when you land, eventually landing in chaturanga with arms at 90 degrees.
Maybe it feels good to reach your right leg out behind you. Keep the hips square to start with. And then maybe stack, bend the knee, stretch out. And find the other side if you're exploring these things. Downward dog for a breath. In and out. Finding your way forwards. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Last 2. Moving your body with your breath. Pose by pose. Let's come and find a side plank. So right hand stays down as you roll the left hip, left shoulder up. Left foot on top of right maybe. Maybe you lift the left foot. Keep a bend in the side body. Don't let those hips drop or roll beneath you. Through the middle. Other way. Stack right on top of left. Breathe. Back to downward dog. Breathing in and out. Finish your round. Inhale, long spine. Exhale to fold. All the way up. All the way down. Last one of these A's. Maybe combining those last 2 explores of a side plank and a hip opener, coming into wild thing. So side plank on one side, lift the arm, lift the hip, lift the leg and drop that top foot behind you as you press the hips and heart open. Back through the middle and over to the other side. Downward dog. Finish your round. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. All the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Alright, moving on to our B's. Let's inhale to chair. Let's swoop the hands down low, hips down low, and come back up to our chair. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Through your vinyasa to downward dog. From here, right foot steps forwards. Let's all do crescent lunge for this first one. Inhale, hands up, stay on the balls of the left foot. Come back down through your vinyasa. Let's go for 2 chaturangas. Squeeze the elbows close, hips and shoulders stay level. Left side, crescent lunge. Stay on the right toes. Inhale, hands up. Come down. 2 chaturangas. Bring your knees down if you need. You build much more strength in your shoulders by doing it properly. Downward dog for 5. Really starting to feel that front body working as one. Belly, ribs, wrapping together and scooping up away from the floor. Last breath in and out. Finish your round. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, tool. 4 more of those. Inhale to chair. Exhale to fold. Back to downward dog. Right side, warrior 1. So bringing that left foot flat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Try and keep your right foot lifted through your vinyasa. You can drop your left knee. And left side, warrior 1. So right foot flat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Back through your vinyasa. Left foot lifted. 5 breaths in downward dog. Making sure there's some space between the shoulder blades. The armpits are starting to hug in. Fingertips are strong in the mat. Last breath. Finish your round. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, tool. 3 more. Right side, warrior 1 or crescent lunge. Decide. Use your breath to move your body. Left side. Downward dog. You fancy a little twist? Maybe reaching right hand across to the left leg. You can bend your knees to make that happen better. Use your legs to pull you back out of that left arm, left wrist. Other side. Back to downward dog. In and out. Finish your round. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold to chair. And standing. Last 2. Right side first. Left side to follow. Five breaths in downward dog. Last one. Finish your round. Last B. Right side. Five breaths here in downward dog. Connecting to all those points we've worked on. This is number 10 or more, I guess, because of all the vinyasas, but number 10 with the long hold. So really get those hands grounded, arms long and strong, same for the sides, belly drawing in and up, legs reaching down, strong. Heels turned out slightly. Feel those inner thighs wrapping round the back of your legs. Last breath. Finish your round.
Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, standing tall. Hands at your heart. Closing your eyes. And just taking a moment to steady your breath, steady your thoughts, and give your purpose, your practice a purpose today. Where's the energy going? Keep it for you if you like, or send it out into the world. No wrong answers. Okay, let's head back into chair pose. So either taking the feet to hip width or bringing the tops of the feet together. Completely up to you. Just make sure your knees stay in line with your ankles, okay? So unless your feet are together, your knees shouldn't be. Press the toes into the mat. Draw the arches up. Draw all that strength through the legs, glutes, inside bottom, belly, ribs. Hands to your heart. Let's interlace the fingers, leaving the index extended, and cross the thumbs if that feels good. Let's use the next inhale to stretch the arms up, and the next exhale to sit the hips down. Not out, but down. Good. From here, next inhale, lifts the sides longer, lifts the ribs up, maybe the gaze. And the next exhale sends the tailbone out. 3 breaths wherever you've got to. Strong, long spine. Strong, steady legs. Even breath, in and out. Last one. As you inhale, straighten the spine. And as you exhale, fold onto or between the thighs. Hips back, hands forward, trying to bring your arms alongside your ears. If you can't do that, separate your hands, that's totally fine. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Last breath. Bring the hands down, stick the knees into the arms, look forward, squeeze the feet up. Try not to kick them up or hop them up, just try and float them up towards each other and your bottom. Breathe. Crow pose. Or maybe crane if you feel like extending the arms a little more. Wherever you are, 2 more breaths, or make your way through your vinyasa when you need. And everyone back to downward dog. Okay, right side first. Let's step the right foot forwards, warrior 1. So left heel comes down to the mat. Left toes turn out to the side slightly, but left hip looks forwards. Stick the tops of your thighs together.
Scoop everything up underneath you as you bend into that front knee. We'll do the same hands as we had for our chair. So interlace. If you're able to pay attention to how you cross your thumbs and how you interlace your fingers, try and vary it as much as you notice, but don't worry if you don't notice. You're just going to have a default, and so if you can try and untune your default, that is great. Basically, your default will be the one that doesn't feel as weird. When you're ready, use an inhale to take the arms up, and an exhale to really bend into that front knee, push into that back heel. Go tall and straight first. Squeeze your bottom, draw your thighs together, hips are in neutral. Next inhale, lift your ribs, lift your hands, lift your eyes. And as you exhale, bend into that front knee more. And then use the next 3 breaths to explore, lifting and lengthening the spine. If you've got room to bend in your thoracic, bend there. Not your lumbar, not your lower back. Push into that heel, square the hips. As you inhale, next straighten out. And as you exhale, twist out into warrior two. Taking that left foot behind you, left heel is the furthest point. Hips are open, shoulders are open out to the left. Reach to your fingertips. Let's flip the palms to the ceiling. The whole arm should rotate up. And then try and just turn the hands back down. See if that feels different now. In the elbows, armpits, shoulders. Bring your hands down behind you. Double check that that front knee rolls out of the way. As you interlace the hands and inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your arms. And as you exhale, spin the shoulders forward. Crown of the head to the big toe. Lift the arms up and over. Push into that back foot. Try not to lock your elbows out, but work to 99%. Push into the feet, pull up with the belly. Let's go to triangle. So let's shorten the stance slightly. Doesn't have to be much, but should probably be some. Otherwise, it's very easy to get to the floor and not be in the right alignment. So bring that left foot forward slightly. Maybe turn the toes round a little. Reach the arms out. You don't have to have a straight front leg. You do need to have a strong, long front leg. Push into your right foot. Pull your right hip under your left. So we're not twisting. We're trying to stack. As you reach your right ribs forwards and over that right thigh, lifting the left shoulder tall to stack on top of the right. Keep reaching through those left fingers to really broaden the chest and feel the strength in your back, helping you twist your heart out to the left. This right hand doesn't have to be on the floor. If it is on the floor, it's not to hold you up, it's just to put it somewhere. Maybe you bring your left arm down behind you. Maybe you can tuck it into your right thigh crease. Maybe you take hold of your right big toe with the second and third fingers on your right hand. Can you take your eyes to the sky? Good. Bring yourself up. Square the shoulders, square the hips. Keep the length in the front leg as best you can, but by all means, go for a little bend while you explore the twist. Perhaps take your left foot slightly wider. Maybe turn your toes a little more forwards. This time, instead of stacking the hips, we're trying to square them. So pull them back and then twist the waist and the shoulders around to the right. Left hand comes down towards the floor, inside or outside the right foot. Right hand reaches up. And maybe you can take your eyes round. So perhaps your fingertips of the left hand are stabilizing you a little here, but really concentrate on squeezing those inner thighs together, drawing the belly back and reaching that right hand round. Or maybe wrap it behind you to help push the right shoulder further round. Come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale out. Warrior two. Adjust your feet as you need. And you maybe want to go a little wider in your warrior two now as we come into side angle. Make sure your knees going forwards and your toes aren't going backwards. Right arm comes across your belly and try and hold on to your left hip. Left arm sticks to your ear. Stretch out. Reach from left fingertips, push into the edge of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen that left side. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Try not to pop the left hip up. Try and press both hips down, keeping the feet flat in the mat. Maybe you can look up to the left hand. Maybe the right hand comes down inside or outside the right leg. Or you can bind here, wrapping the arm so the back of the left hand comes to your right hip and your right arm comes under and round to connect the hands together. Now we're trying to take hold of our wrists in binds. The arm that's gone around your back is the wrist you hold. So in this case, right hand wraps around left wrist. Good, press into your feet, bring yourself up. Let's spin on the back toes. Keep bending into that right knee, pushing into that left heel, and bring your hands to heart, sticking your left elbow outside your right knee. Now you can use that wedge, but also use the strength of your back and your belly to pull your ribs round, trying to get your heart in line with your thumbs. You can drop that back knee if you need, otherwise really drive out through that leg, maybe extending the arms. Maybe the left fingertips, hand comes to the floor. Maybe the right arm wraps behind you, finding the outside of the left hip. Maybe the left arm threads under and you can connect your hands. Again, aiming to hold the right wrist this time, if you can get yourself that far around. Good, untangle your hands. Bring that left knee down. Bring the hands down in front and drop into a lizard here. So trying to bring the right shoulder down inside the right knee, right thigh. Maybe you come down onto forearms. And then we'll go for an EPK transition. Just work with what you've got. Remember, you can always keep your legs bent so they don't weigh as much. You can always do one leg at a time. You can always let your face rest down so you practice the feeling of the legs taking off, but maybe not completely flying with the head as a counterbalance. So hands come strong into the mat. Arms are long and strong. Press out through that left heel, lift the left knee. Squeeze the right foot up, right knee stuck to right shoulder. Back through your vinyasa from here, or drop into chaturanga arms. Maybe bend the left foot up so both legs are flying. Maybe extend both legs. And then back through your vinyasa. Downward dog. Down onto the knees. Coming into dolphin number one. So we want to drop both elbows at the same time. Please practice on your knees for as long as you need to until you can bring both elbows down together from downward dog. Practice the idea. Walk your knees further away from your hands as you get stronger. Press the shoulder blades apart. Wrap the elbows under towards each other down onto the mat. You can have the hands flat, flat in the middle, or interlace. They just change the way your shoulders rotate. And play with all of them till you find the one that works for you today. Press into the mat with the forearms. Tuck the toes. Hips go back. Pull back to stretch out those shoulders. And then walk the feet forwards, trying to bring hips over shoulders, over elbows. Head's clear. Maybe it's only a millimetre or two. Maybe it's a mile. Use every little bit of your upper arm length. Using your legs and your belly to pull your hips up. Breathe. Last one. And knees wide, big toes together, arms out. Child's pose. Finding your way through a vinyasa, back to downward dog.
Take your time, enjoy each pose, 3 or 4 counts for every place. And we'll do left side, warrior 1. Left foot steps up, right foot comes down. Bring your body up, connect the hands. As I said, if you can do the awkward cross, go for it. Train the brain to be okay with awkward. Ground down into the feet, strong legs, hips are square. Make sure that right hip pulls in, doesn't roll out. Take the arms up. Inhale, lift them really, really long. Just go up, don't worry about back. Exhale, down into that front knee, down into that back heel. Next inhale, lift your sides longer, lift your ribs, lift your eyes to your thumbs if you can. And as you exhale, ground into the legs. And then use the next 3 breaths to explore, lifting, lengthening, maybe bending. From the ribs, not the waist. Next inhale picks you up tall. And as you exhale, twist out into warrior 2, making any adjustments that you need. Just make sure your right toes are rolling to the left a little. They're not looking out to the end. Bend into that left knee. Reach out to your fingertips. Flip your whole arm up to the sky. And then roll just your hands back. Good. Bring those long open arms down behind you, interlace. Inhale, lift up your heart, lengthen the arms to 99%. Exhale, roll the crown of the head down, lift the arms up and over. Really try and bend that left knee out the way as you push into the right foot. All the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Adjust your feet for your triangle. So come forwards with that right foot a little. Maybe turn those right toes forward slightly. Reach the arms out. Press into the left foot. Pull the left hip under the right as you reach forwards and roll the left ribs along the left thigh. Roll that right shoulder open. Reach up through the right fingers. You don't need to have a straight leg in the front leg, but just make sure it's strong. If it's straight, make sure that's because you've pulled it straight from each end rather than pushed it straight from the middle, from the knee. Maybe wrapping right arm behind you. Maybe you can tuck your fingers into your left thigh. Maybe taking hold of the big toe with the second and third fingers. All the way up. Again, feel free to micro bend or even macro bend if that's a thing. Your left knee. Don't lunge, but do bend it some. Maybe take your right foot a little wider. Whatever you're doing, hips are square, thighs stick together as you twist belly and shoulders round to the left. Right fingertips come to the floor or the ankle as you lift that left arm up. Lock those thighs together, draw the belly back in. And then maybe wrap the left arm behind you. Maybe you can take the eyes to the sky. All the way up, inhale. Exhale out, warrior 2, and make it a bigger warrior 2 maybe. Certainly wider than your triangle was. Yeah, let's bring the left arm across the belly onto the right hip. Right arm sticks to the ear. Inhale up and lengthen. Exhale, bend into that left knee. Long straight line as you spin the chest open. Feel the strength in your back. You can bring the left hand inside or outside the left leg, or wrap the right arm round behind you. Going for that bind. Aiming to hold your wrist. Okay, come up. Maybe
shorten the stance slightly if you need, but spin on the back toes. As you bring hands together, draw the belly in and bring your right elbow outside your left knee. You can drop that right knee if you need, but try and work the ribs over the thigh, heart to hands. You could extend the arms, or you could try and bind here. Drive into the feet. Draw the belly in. Eyes to the sky. Come down. Hands to the mat. Right knee down. Lizard time. So just trying to drop into that left knee. Trying to drop the left shoulder inside that left leg. Just pressing out the back thigh. And then having a go at the same transition you tried on the other side. So bringing the hands strong, arms strong, tuck the back toes, lift the right knee, squeeze the right foot up, left foot up, sorry, left knee stuck in left shoulder. Maybe that's enough, or maybe chaturanga, maybe pick up the right foot, maybe extend the legs, maybe you can fly back through your vinyasa to downward dog. So you can drop into dolphin from here, otherwise onto your knees. Please, please, please try and bring both elbows down together. Don't practice one at a time, because you'll just create an imbalance in your body or enhance one that's already there. So when you're ready, shoulder blades apart, elbows scoop together, down into the mat. Adjust your hands as you need, and then walk those hips up. Breathing. Keep that space in the upper back. Last one. Down to child's pose and rest. Finding your way back to downward dog, no vinyasa. Popping up onto the fingertips, both hands together if you can. And then walking your hands back about halfway maybe, till you can push with your hands and pull with your legs and fold over your legs at the back of your mat. Bend your knees so your body comes close. Take hold of your big toes with second and third fingers. And all I want you to focus on is that compression, belly and thighs. The stretch from your hips down your spine rather than your hamstrings and your legs being straight. Try and focus on the depth of your fold first. The length will come. As you inhale, look forwards. Really try and pull your spine long. And as you exhale, draw the elbows out to the side. Keep the space around your ears, around your neck. Pull the thighs up away from the knees. Draw the belly in. And just think about shifting your weight forwards. So lifting the sit bones, reaching the crown of the head down. Bring your weight through your feet. The forward fold, if it's done right, should make you feel like you could fall forwards if you just went a little bit too far. And maybe you will, and if you do, perfect. You did the right thing. If you fall backwards in a forward fold, I'm not quite sure what you're up to. Last breath. Keep everything on. Just switch the grip. Palms of the hands come under the soles of the feet now. Inhale, length. Exhale, depth in your fold. And breathe here. Try not to force those knees back, but do pull the legs up as you ground down through the feet. Try not to be heavy in your heels. Really squash your hands here. Maybe you can even get your heels to lift a little or a lot as you come and stand on your hands, balancing for a moment maybe.
Untuck the hands. Take hold of the elbows. Reach the forearms down and draw the toes up towards them. Breathe. Good. Bring the fingertips forwards. Roll up onto your tiptoes and drop your hips to knee height. Come into stiletto skier. Hands reach forwards. Shins press forwards. Bottom squeezes in and up. Breath is steady. She says, falling over. Don't watch. Keep breathing. Last one. All the way up to chair now. So your hips stay where they are as you pull your shoulders up. Maybe your arms go out in front or they continue overhead. Breathe. All the way up to standing and close your eyes. Allow a few steps to manage the wobbles. Trust yourself. Be brave. Last one. And open the eyes. Release the arms. Step out wide on your mats. Take your feet to double shoulders, maybe a touch more. Heels out slightly, toes in slightly. Bend your knees and just get really stuck into those feet. And then draw that strength up the legs. Feel your inner thighs squeeze in and up. Feel your outer thighs squeeze in and up. Bottoms on, hands are on your hips. Inhale, tall spine, squeeze the elbows together. Exhale, reach forwards through your chin. Feel your toes catch you. And come all the way down in between your legs. Trying to roll those elbows towards each other. Trying to draw the belly up and in. Thighs up and in. As you ground down through the feet. Really keep those thighs strong so the hamstrings are safe. Breathe here. Good. Press into the feet. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Hands, heart, head lifts. Exhale, hands come down behind you and interlace. Inhale, press the shoulders back and down. Look up. Exhale, keep reaching the chin forwards as the arms go up and over and you fold down between the legs. Lifting those arms, lengthening the arms, trying not to lock the elbows out. Breathe. Good. Press into your feet. Inhale halfway. Hands onto your lower back. Exhale, hands come down to ankles or big toes. As you inhale, lengthen that spine and arms. As you exhale, draw the elbows out. Keep the space around the neck and ears. Roll the crown of the head down. Breathe. Last one. And then bringing your hands down behind you, trying to bring the palms to the floor, but reach your arms back through your legs. So your arms are as straight as can be. Your palms are flat on the mat. And maybe from here, you can tip the crown of the head onto the floor. Options for a headstand now, straddle press. So if this isn't in your practice, you can totally work on building up to it. Maybe you work with dolphin arms, hands interlaced, and imagine you can start to bring your head to the floor, just really working on keeping those shoulders stable. Maybe you work on a tripod, hands are flat, elbows are in, and you start practicing shifting your weight forwards, your legs keep you, or you head up into one or the other, with a straddle press. So whatever you're up to, make sure your legs stay strong, because if you come up into a straddle press, then you definitely want to reach all the energy out through your toes so that you can keep the heavy legs engaged and useful. Let's use the next 5 breaths to have a play. From your straddle press, if you're going up, you're going to need to try and push the hips forwards a little, squeeze the bottom and zip the legs back together. And then as you come back down, you're going to unzip them, keeping energy to the toes. Keep the hips over the shoulders, so as you come down a little more, you need to feel those hip flexors start to engage, pulling your hips back, reaching out through your feet, belly drawing in, feet land. Maybe a little wider than where they took off from, but roughly where they took off from. Let's bring the hands to the front of the mat, turn the toes out a touch, heels in, and drop all the way into the right knee. Keep your feet flat, maybe lift the left arm up, maybe drop down onto the right elbow if that feels good. Come back through the middle, into the left knee. Right foot stays down. Maybe right arm lifts, maybe left elbow drops. Come back to the middle now with a wiggle, and off you go out into your middle splits, whatever that looks like for you today. Make sure your feet stay flat, in contact with the mat, your legs are strong, belly's strong, arms are strong. Either keep them straight, shoulder blades apart, or elbows, shoulder blades apart. Breathe. Good, last breath here in middle. As you bring your hands down, walk your feet a little closer and spin round over your right leg, dropping your left knee behind you. Press that left hip forwards. Really try and squeeze that hip round. Stretch that left thigh. And then making sure you keep the squareness in the hips. Feel free to explore the front leg. You can take both legs long if you like. Make sure you're not heavy in your hands. Your legs, your core are holding you up, not your forearms. Breathe. Carefully coming back through the middle and around to the other side. Bring your feet a little closer so you start where you started. Press the right hip forwards. And then go ahead and explore what full splits looks like on this side. Might not look the same, that's okay. Make it feel the same. Same amount of effort. And coming down onto your bottoms, taking your legs out wide. Let's bring the knees in a touch. Flex the feet, grab the big toes. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Keep the collarbones open. Exhale, bring the belly between the thighs. So we're not trying to bend down, we're trying to bend forwards. Keep your shoulders drawing back. Feel the strength in your upper back pulling you here. If that feels like a good stretch, stay right there. If you're desperate to take your legs out longer, fine. Do it. Just make sure that you don't pop out of your thighs and your back rounds. Keep your chest leading, your chin leading, not your forehead, not your shoulders. Breathe. Keep those thighs nice and strong so the hammies can stretch safe. Keep the belly drawing in. Keep breathing. Good. Bring your hands in. We're going to turn the fingers back under the thighs, aiming for arms to be about shoulder width. You're going to point or flex your feet and see if you can get your bum to lift off. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I know I need to practice it. So before you try and take off, you want to try and scoop your pelvic floor, your bottom in and up. And if you can get lift off, great. Breathe. And come back down. Drawing the knees in towards the shoulders, grab the big toes, let's come out into a wide leg boat. So right up tall on those sit bones, shoulders drop away from the ears, collarbones spread, legs are on, they do not need to be straight, but really try and pull your body between your legs. You're imagining you're taking your feet past your shoulders. Good, last breath here. Now see if you can release your feet and leave your legs where they are and bring your arms in that Kali Mudra, Charlie's Angels gun, through the middle. Good, feet down, soles together, flap the knees, have a rock. And then wriggle your sit bones as close to your heels as you can. Cradle your feet. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, elbows bend. Hinge forward, so not down, forwards. You can press your elbows onto your shins maybe, but don't lose your neck. And now bringing your forehead to your feet, allowing your back to round. Rolling the spine up, taking the feet a bit wider than hips and knees up. So we'll just take hold of the ankles, bring the elbows onto the shins and try and press the body forwards between the legs. And you can wiggle around a little here. Really feel the whole front body drawing in and feeling the back body stretching out. If that feels like enough, stay there. Maybe you don't know, so feel free to explore, but as soon as your back rounds and you lose that length in your spine or that straightness in your spine, go back to the option before and just stay there a little longer. You can try wrapping your hands around the backs of your ankles. Maybe you can bring your hands back onto the front of your feet. You could take your arms out to the side. Or, if it feels okay, you can practice wiggling your hips back, feet forwards, till you come right down into tortoise. You can leave the arms out straight, or eventually they'll bind around your lower back. So you could practice flipping your thumbs up so the backs of your hands come onto your hips, or maybe your hands connect already. Find your way wherever you get to. Make sure you're breathing. If your arms are like the mirror of your legs, so you've still got your arms straight, palms down, you can practice the lift here in tortoise. So you want to try and squeeze up so the hips lift, and you can flex or point the feet. It's a big arm pressure pose, so make sure your legs aren't on your elbows, but if they're on your upper arms, you can have a go. Good, carefully walking the feet back in, drawing the arms back in, taking a moment to wonder what on earth just happened, spinning yourself round long ways on your mat. Let's find a pose we're probably more familiar with. Let's come to boat pose. So on the sit bones, tall spine, draw the knees in, spread the strength of your belly out to the edges, keep those shoulders down and open, chin tucks in slightly. Go ahead and explore lifting the legs, but don't fall away from them. 3, 2, 1. Cross the ankles, roll over, through a vinyasa, and back to the downward dog. Okay, we're going to jump through the hands. So bring the hands back to maybe just ahead of halfway on your mat. Get them strong, and remember these become little handstand hops. So you're trying to take your shoulders beyond your wrists and bring your hips up over your shoulders. Just focus on going up rather than forwards. Land as lightly as you can, find your way to your bum. Let's come and do our forward folds. So finding the seat, bending the knees slightly. Make sure you can press your belly into your legs and touch your toes. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, draw the thighs and belly back. Press your belly onto your thighs and grab your big toes. Inhale again, lengthen the spine. Exhale again, elbows out to the side. Body lengthens and lies along the legs. If you can keep that depth of fold, feel free to make the legs longer. Maybe you can start to drop the elbows towards the floor. Keep everything the same, we're just going to change the grip. So come hold the outsides of the feet. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, bring the hands back alongside the hips. We're going to go and try and press the hips up off the floor. So just like before, you want to try and pick up your insides first. Inhale, scoop everything up. Exhale, press the hands down, lengthen the arms and try and pull your hips back. And maybe you can get the feet to float as well. Maybe you get crazy cramp when you do that. Put your elbows in your legs. Okay, back to boat. Draw the knees in and up. Draw the spine long. Explore lifting the legs, but don't let your back round or fall away from you. Keep lifting up. 3, 2, 1. Through your vinyasa. Back to downward dog. Going for another jump through, so hands back just a touch. When you're ready, find your way through as lightly as you can. Okay, so we're going to work with tabletop, reverse plank, and then work through our back bends. So your hands come down to the mat, fingertips face forwards, and you might need to play with where you put your hands. What you want to avoid is that your shoulders are in front of your wrists, because that's gross for your wrists. You want to try and use your legs and your hand placement to get the angle wider in the wrists. So feet are hip width-ish. Turn your toes in a touch. Press into the feet, press into the hands. Squeeze the bottom, outside and inside. Draw the belly back in and up. Hips go up and breathe. Last one. Good. Pull your hips back between your hands. Go for another lift off. Relax. Okay, scoot forwards a little if you need to. Legs come out long this time. We're going to try reverse plank. So we really want to get the hips high. Sorry, hiccups. High. If your hips are below knee height, then come back to tabletop, okay? As long as you can press your hips above your knees, slowly, 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 you'll get there. Hands come down again. This time legs are long. Point the toes. Roll the tops of the feet, the inner thighs, into each other. Trying to get your kneecaps to kiss. When you're ready, press into the hands. Squeeze everything up and in from the outside and inside. And press the front body up. Breathe. Last one. And hips come back. One more try for an L-sit. Whew, crazy cramp. Okay. Let's come down onto our backs and we'll work through our back bends. So just shuffle on your mat as you need. Bring your back down.
Heels in as close to your hips as you can. Toes turned in a bit. Your feet are about hip width, but maybe a little wider if your knees have a habit of falling out to the sides. Bring your hands down to the mat. Press into the feet and the shoulders. Squeeze everything in and up and push those hips high. So we're trying to break the line from knees to shoulders by pushing the hips through. So maybe this is your limit and that's totally fine. But perhaps you can walk the hands forwards a little, giving you a bit more room to bend up. Maybe you can start to roll the outsides of the shoulders under you. You could interlace your hands. Whatever works, just try and get those hips up. Squeeze the bottom, push into the feet, and try and send your heart over your head. Good. Squeeze the bottom until it's down on the floor. Use the next 10 breaths to explore. So stay with your bridges, play with different leg options one at a time, or marching or whatever. Just try and keep the hips level. Or if you're coming up into bridge, remember your legs are so strong and so helpful, essential in back bends. So use your legs first. A good intermediate before you press the arms straight is onto the top of the head. So you flip your hands ready for your wheel. Try and get your fingertips somewhere around your shoulders, elbows drawing up towards the sky. Do your legs first, so bridge legs first, and then onto the top of your head, more legs, and then arms. Trying to press your heart through them, trying to use your legs to press you forwards so you're not stuck in your lower back, and you're trying to get those arms straight again so you don't have those horrible angles in your wrists. Breathe. Stay as long as you're breathing. Once you stop breathing, come down. Do not hold your breath. Keep your bottom on until you're down. And just take a moment, maybe knees falling on each other or out to the side or side to side. And from here, let's find our way through our anti-back bends, through our shoulder stands. So you can just totally do waterfall if that feels like enough, because shoulder stand is very corey, or it should be. It definitely shouldn't be as much neck as it can be. So you want to use your legs and your core, which is shoulders to hips, to try and stack you right up on your shoulders. What can happen if you don't use your legs and your belly enough is that your back can round, or you can put too much weight into your neck, which obviously, as horrible as it sounds, isn't great. So bringing the palms to the floor, either side of the arms, lift the legs up. And maybe that's enough, just staying there with active legs, keeping them above your hips. If you want to go up into shoulder stand, maybe have a little rock, maybe get your hands ready to catch you, and find your way into your hands, lifting the legs up. Or you can go all the way up, no hands, but please be careful and really try and stick your toes to the ceiling. Wherever you are, straighten out. Pull yourself up onto your shoulders. Breathe. Do not look at me. Please look at your toes. You could stay here in your shoulder stand, or you could drop your legs down behind you for plow. Making sure that you support your back until your feet are down if you're not confident of your strength. And that's fine. Some days you need the support, some days you don't, but it's always better safe than sorry with your spine. Once your feet are down, you can let go of your back, maybe extend the arms, maybe interlace them. Maybe dropping the knees down either side of the ears for deaf man's pose. Wherever you're at, finding your way carefully back out. Onto your back, knees in for a hug and a roll. Starting to rock forwards and backwards. Getting up onto your sit bones. Once you've come up a couple of times, come hang out in a boat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross the ankles through your vinyasa. Last one. Finding your way back to downward dog. And from here, let's bring the right knee towards the right wrist and the right foot towards the left as you come into pigeon. Keep a little flex in those right toes and try and square the hips, try and keep them level. So if you're capsizing into that right hip, prop it up with something. Lengthen the spine as you fold as far forwards as works for you. Maybe finding a twist, threading the left arm across and wrapping the right arm round behind. Good, bringing yourself back to the middle, walking yourself tall out of the hips as you drop onto the right hip. Left leg comes into the shin or outside the thigh as you squeeze that right foot towards your left hip. And then wrap the right arm around the left knee. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm round behind you. Fingertips light on the floor, or maybe you can bring the back of the left hand to the right hip. Maybe you can thread the right arm through that awkward gap in the left leg and make a bind. Legs stay the same, arms go the other way. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist out. And then cow face legs. So let's try and get the knees to stack. Make sure your knees don't hurt while you explore this, that's not the point. So just try and get them to line up as much as they'll allow, trying to get your seat to be balanced. We've got the left leg on top, so if you're doing cow face arms, you'll take the right arm on top, or eagle arms, you take the right elbow on top and wrap up. You don't have to do either of those arms, you could just fold your body forwards if you like. Release your hands. From here, your left leg is already flowing round to the right, so trust me on this. Use your hands to help you up, press into your feet and spin all the way round to the right. Don't move anything, and you should tangle back into the opposite cow face. So hands up, follow your legs round, spin, 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 and you should end up with your right leg on top. Am I right? I hope so. If not, I'm not quite sure what happened, but let's find our way into cow face on this side. Nice, steady breathing. Adding any arms that work here, so left on top for cow face or left on top for eagle. Release. We'll do pigeon and then half lord because it's better for the hips. So let's take that right leg all the way around behind, bringing your left knee forwards, your left foot as far forwards as it will go. Stretch that right leg out and then fold on down. Add the twist if it feels good. Right arm out to the left, left arm round behind, trying to catch those left toes. Untangling all the way back up, nice and tall, down onto the left hip, and then bringing that right foot into the shin or outside the knee if it will go. Hug on with the left arm, inhale right arm up, exhale twist round, light fingertips or wrap the back of the right hand onto the left hip, maybe thread the left arm through the gap. Legs stay the same, shoulders go the other way, inhaling up, exhaling out. And then coming back to centre. If lotus is in your practice, then come and find it. If not, half lotus is great. Do half on one side and then try and do it on the other side. Or just come to cross legs, it's totally fine. What you're aiming for with your lotus though is to make sure you're getting the edge of your foot right in the thigh crease, or even eventually the top of the foot and the soles face up. Have a go, see if lotus is happening today. Really focus on closing the knee before you try and bring the foot into the hip. We haven't done any extraordinary hip opening today, so I have no idea if I can even get into it. Don't force it. Lotus is not nice to knees that don't want to do it yet. So really take your time to find a cross leg that works for you. That is not lotus for me today. So I'm going to do half. And then let's find 12 breaths. So if you're in a half lotus, do 6 and switch. If you're in a even seat, do all 12 breaths in one go. And these breaths are deep and steady, just allowing any extra heart rate to slow down, allowing the efforts of your practice to start to assimilate in your body, allowing the mind to just continue to focus on you. If you've done a half, bring yourself out and switch to the other half. Last breath. Okay, we'll find our way down onto our backs for Shavasana, so please make yourself comfortable, grab any props that you need, any extra bits, and then find your way down onto your back. Bringing the knees in for a hug maybe. Perhaps letting them just fall side to side, shoulders heavy. And once you've found a comfortable position, to take your Shavasana in. Allow your body to really just sink down into whatever's beneath it. Accepting the support. Letting go of the control. And as your body settles, watch your breath return to its natural rhythm, bringing you what you need and taking away what you don't. As your body and your breath settle, invite your mind to do the same. Not to stop or turn off, but just allowing yourself to become an observer without reaction. Watching thoughts and distractions come and go without following as you let yourself rest. You did the best you could today, and that is always enough. As you feel a softness start to spread through the toes, feet, ankles, legs heavy, as your knees, bottom, hips relax. All the way up your spine, your whole back, and your shoulders melting down. Your belly soft, and your chest open. The length of your arms, relaxing, releasing your elbows, wrists, hands, fingers. Your neck and your throat free, letting go of your jaw, lips, teeth, tongue. And your whole face soft. Cheeks, eyes, forehead, the back of your head. Your whole body, soft, heavy, and relaxed as you bring your attention in, either resting at the space between your eyebrows or in heart center.
And gently starting to draw your attention back to your breath. Feeling that cool inhale fill you up. New space, new energy, and that warm exhale. Carrying away anything that no longer serves you. As you feel each breath bring a little more energy in, feel it start to build, start to spread. Down the arms to the fingers, down the legs to the toes, finding a little wiggle. And a little bit more. As you reconnect your mind and your body with your breath, shifting your attention, bringing back movement, piece by piece, toes to nose. Maybe stretching all the way out, or taking all the way in. And then giving yourself a big hug. And say thank you to you for this time this evening. Time to explore, time to connect. Facing challenges with courage, kindness, playfulness and patience. Taking all of that with you, along with the peace and calm that you've created into your evening, into the new week. Keeping your eyes closed if you can, carefully coming up to a comfortable seat. Once you're there, maybe just rolling the head side to side, stretching out through the neck. Back to the middle. Next inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, drop. 2 more. Bringing your hands to prayer at your heart. And just reminding yourself where the energy of your practice is going this evening, keeping it for you or sending it out into the world. If you'd like to join me in and on, you're very welcome. Inhaling. Bring your prayer to your forehead. Always think good thoughts. Your prayer to your lips. Always speak good words, especially to yourself. And returning your hands to your heart. Always do good things. Opening your eyes. Namaste.